First at 4, just enough snow to make it longer to get home tonight. We'll show you how long the flakes hold on and why we've got more chances showing up in the 7-day forecast. Devin?
All right, Ben, also we're following breaking news about the COVID-19 vaccine. We're getting reports of the first serious allergic reaction in the United States. Dr. Frank McGeorge will be here to tell us what that means. And here's Paula.
Hey, Devin, we're going to profile an organization. They are looking for local minority students. They say they can march them into their future success. These stories and more are happening right now on Local 4 First at 4.
Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Devin Skillian in today for Karen Drew. Metro Detroit is getting clipped, just clipped, by what will be a massive storm for many others. It's going to pound parts of the East Coast. In fact, this is what the radar looks like right now. We are definitely missing the worst of it, but we've seen snowflakes off and on today. Let's get to our meteorologist, Ben Bailey, with what's happening right now and the bullet we're dodging, Ben.
Yeah, Devin, I don't even think we're going to get the shovels out of the garage for this one. Just enough to make things slick on the roads, and that's pretty much going to be the big impacts from this. Here's Storm Tracker 4. You can see by the color there, it is all light as it all starts to migrate more from the south to the north. There are a couple snow showers that are a little bit more robust there, where visibilities are down to 1.5 miles or less. So maybe a little bit more accumulation there around Metro Airport and south of Adrian. But you can see north of 8 Mile, those visibilities are pretty wide considering the snow showers are out there. So probably not going to see much of any additional accumulation. And we'll see these continue to taper down to just a couple flurries by 10 p.m. and then completely going away as we pass midnight tonight. Temperatures firmly below freezing, so no problems with switchover in type. And we'll talk more about multiple chances and some big changes for Christmas all in a few minutes, Devin.
All right, Ben. Let's get to breaking news now. First at 4 as we track some key developments on the coronavirus pandemic and the growing vaccine program. Several newspapers are reporting the first severe allergic reaction to the Pfizer vaccine. We're told a healthcare worker in Juneau, Alaska, had the reaction to it yesterday after getting the vaccine and is in fact in intensive care at this hour. We're going to talk to our Dr. Frank McGeorge about it in just a second. Also at this hour, Michigan just reporting more than 4,000 new cases, 7,000 fewer than yesterday. So that's good as far as trends go. I'm sorry, 700 fewer than yesterday. Really good as far as trends go. And we've seen an additional 83 deaths in the state. Vaccination program expanding here in Metro Detroit with more hospitals giving out their first shots. And now let's bring in our Dr. Frank McGeorge and talk more about this new allergic reaction, which has been obviously a severe one, Doc.
Yeah, Devin. So reports from the Alaska Department of Health are that a healthcare worker in Juneau who was given the COVID-19 vaccine developed flushing and shortness of breath 10 minutes after receiving the shot during that recommended 15-minute observation period. Now, the worker had no history of allergic reactions in the past. They took Benadryl after the symptoms began, and when they didn't resolve, the worker was admitted to the emergency department at the hospital, where they received Pepcid, which blocks a different part of the allergic mechanism, Benadryl, and epinephrine through an IV drip. Now, reports are that the individual has recovered but is still being monitored in the ICU.
It's going to be a worrisome thing for a lot of people here. So try to put this in context for us as we learn about these vaccines.
Well, you know, Devin, this is the first report of a significant allergic reaction in the U.S. And while this is not necessarily unexpected given the severe allergic reactions that were identified in the U.K., and of course, allergic reactions can occur with any medication, this incident will require additional investigation, and it really highlights the importance of the precautions against an allergic reaction that have already been put in place.
Yeah. All right, Doc, we've got more from you coming up at 5 o'clock. We'll see you then. Now, in the meantime, more local hospitals are giving out their first shots. Our crews were invited to the VA Ann Arbor healthcare system to see their first doses. Hospital received about 1,000 doses on Tuesday. Frontline workers say they are happy to be a part of the process.
A little nervous, I won't lie, but as I've talked to other co-workers and other people in the hospital, I've gotten more comfortable with it, and if today is the day that helps other people want to take it and get vaccinated so that way we can get over this pandemic and get back to regular life, then I'm all for it.
37 VA medical centers across the country will be receiving the vaccine this week. In Southfield, Providence Hospital, 2 frontline workers there receiving the first doses of the vaccine this afternoon. More workers soon to follow. Our coverage of the vaccine program will continue here at 5 o'clock. Other news at 4, one person is in custody today after the shooting death of an 8-year-old boy in Canton. Shooting happened Tuesday afternoon at a home on Old Michigan Avenue. Investigators say a 911 call came in that a child had been shot after a gun went off, and police confirmed the boy died from his injuries overnight. We are not certain who's in custody right now, but this investigation has been turned over to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, and we await word on whether charges will be filed. Former Macomb County Prosecutor Eric Smith will not face a court hearing tomorrow. His plea hearing, one of many court dates that have been pushed into the new year because of COVID-19 concerns. In this case, the judge says Smith continues to recover after contracting the virus. Former prosecutor is expected to plead guilty to obstruction of justice. He could face up to 21 months in prison for that. That hearing, as I mentioned, has been pushed. It's now set for January 27th. We get occasional calls into the newsroom about the next round of COVID relief, and it looks like Congress is getting closer to a new deal. Kimberly Gill tracking negotiations from the newsroom. Kind of need a scorecard to keep following where we are day by day, Kim.
You're right, Devin, and good afternoon to you. The big question we get from viewers all the time, will there be more stimulus checks? Well, right now the answer looks like yes, or at least maybe. Let me back up. So the parameters could change from hour to hour, but this is what we're hearing. We're hearing from members of both parties that a new deal would include direct payments of $600 to most Americans. That is in addition to bonus unemployment benefits of $300 per week. Not too long ago, it seemed it would be just one or the other, but we could see both now. Republicans have all but killed $160 billion for state and local governments, but President-elect Joe Biden has indicated Congress could talk about that later. How close is the deal, you ask? Well, take a listen as Senator Mitch McConnell makes it clear lawmakers need to get something done.
We committed to continuing these urgent discussions until we will not leave town until we've made law.
We Democrats would have liked to go considerably further, but this won't be the last time Congress speaks on COVID relief. Right now, we must address this emergency over the short term.
Well, right now it looks as if the new version of relief could be worth $900 billion. Congress is facing a Friday deadline to avoid a government shutdown, of course. Lawmakers say they may need to pass another temporary spending bill to give themselves more time. So, Devin, we'll stay on top of all of this. For now, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
You got it, KG. We'll see you at 5 o'clock.
Yep.
There are a lot of paths to a college education, and today we're learning about one option that is looking for bright, ambitious young women and minorities. Paula Tutman live with the story of a nonprofit that is trying to light a path to leadership, service, and the potential for success. Paula?
Hey, Devin. Yeah, you know, most of us had an ROTC program in high school or in college, and who knew that that would be this kind of path for this kind of help? And if you're not in ROTC, no worries. These folks know folks. When Leandrew Jefferson graduated from River Rouge High School, he was Michigan State bound.
I was accepted to the honors program, actually, James Madison School of Political Science there.
But then he met Sean Lanier and became the pilot for a new nonprofit geared specifically towards minorities.
The military is great with representation on the enlisted ranks. Where we're not having a great building that pipeline is for the General Lloyd Austin, who's a retired general officer that graduated from West Point that's now for the Secretary of Defense.
There's truth. We need more Black officers in the military. VMI is moving far into the future. I think the students should reflect what the country looks like.
In other words, how do you build military leadership and officers ready to serve straight out of college? You light the path and then walk with the students every step of the way. And that is the idea behind the nonprofit Resolve Solutions Incorporated. Sean and his team encourage minorities to get their college navigation through them.
Bottom line is that we're going to help you become successful. We'll help you get money to pay for your tuition, help you be successful once you get into college, particularly going to summer school, introduce you to other adult mentors, and put you on a glide path to be successful. That means not just getting the scholarship, but to maintain it, graduate, and commission and serve.
Now, the students can choose the school. RSI will help students find money, mentors, and a path forward to leadership through the military that doesn't have to end in the military, but certainly to a path of success. Now, that path travels through service to the nation. Now, there is a minimal commitment to serve the nation, but the organization's commitment to students is that they will serve as an officer, and the lessons learned along the way as a mentee of the organization will follow you in business, life, and in everything else you choose to do.
Since our inception, we've helped about 510 kids from 23 states to earn about $45 million in offers.
Yeah, that's a lot of kids. That's a lot of money. And again, this is not a one and done. This is really a partnership with these students who are willing to join ROTC and enter their path to college that route. They will get the help. And of course, we'll put all of the contact information on our social media platforms, Devin.
Yeah, and all the branches of the military have their own ROTC programs, whether it's Army, Navy, Air Force, whatever it is that you're interested in. So it's a great, great program. All right, Paula, still ahead here on First at 4. We're going to turn our attention to a Help Me Hank consumer alert. More than 1 million drivers involved in some new auto recalls. We'll find out if you might be affected. Also, former rivals now working together. Democrat Pete Buttigieg talks about how he could make history in a presidential cabinet. And we've seen snow off and on outside our studios in downtown Detroit right now. And we see a little bit of snow falling. Ben is back in just a few minutes to tell us how much more we'll see and when it's going to end in just a minute.